in our case, the way we design is that when we start a project, we try to sort of find all the evidence, all the information about the project. We try to identify problems, potentials. We try to agree with the client and with each other and with our consultants, what are the values? And we try to identify what is the biggest problem we have to solve. What is the greatest potential we can unleash? And each time we meet, we try to identify those elements, and then we start trying to make architectural ideas that organize the program or respond to the context. And we meet again, and we look at them, and we measure them against the values that we have established for the project. And some things might look cool, but they have nothing to do with what we're trying to do, but maybe they could, or some things have everything to do with what we're trying to do, but they suck. And gradually, we might then slightly adjust. We might also realize that a problem we thought was a big problem turns out to not be such a big problem, or a potential, like something we thought was important, turns out that there's something else that's even more important. So each time we meet, we reiterate the narrative. We reformulate the narrative. So that each design meeting is us re-narrating the story of the project to each other. And as we refine the story of the project, we also refine the project. So that when we finally get to the final presentation, the architecture and the story about it has co-evolved. So rather than a design narrative, you can say our method is narrative design. That by narrating the story of the project to each other continually, we get there. And that also means that my teams are not sitting around waiting for creative genius to show up, because we are constantly formulating let's say, the source code of the project, so that everybody in the team, including the collaborators, have access to the source code and have access to reformulating the source code. And that means that everybody has license to propose, because it's not a question of who came up with it, it's a question of why do we decide to pursue it. And maybe lastly, I'd like to say that, you know, I love designing, and I'm not the CEO of big, I don't negotiate contracts or schedules or Excel sheets. I'm creative director, so that's the only thing I spend my time on. And sometimes I come up with a great idea, and it feels good when it happens, but often it's someone else. And it's because it's not my job to come up with a great idea. It's my job to make sure that when the great idea presents itself, that's the idea that we pursue, no matter who came up with it.